The college boy my fiance was sponsoring started chasing her like crazy. She called him a simp, but when that simp got into a car accident, she ditched our wedding to take care of him. The system ruled I'd failed my mission to win her over. The price? Forgetting her. October 1st is my wedding day. I'm a little nervous. In a black suit, clutching a 3-carat diamond ring. I kept rehearsing backstage, picturing how to look my best when slipping the ring onto her finger. My fiancée came rushing toward me, hiking up her wedding dress.
Something's wrong, honey. Jason Smith's been in a car accident.
My brow furrowed before I could stop it. I really don't like bringing up Jason. I've never had much respect for him. He's a flamboyant guy with painted nails, silver eyeliner, earrings, the whole bit. To me, he's effeminate. But my fiancée says I don't get it. She says that kind of brokenness triggers a woman's maternal instinct, makes her want to protect him. I don't care to discuss it further. Jason's a college kid my fiancé's family supports, and he's always liked her. She knows it. She even rejected him right in front of me, told him to stop bothering her, but he won't quit. He's always weaving handmade bags, plucking peacock feathers to craft fake kingfisher hairpins, buying her breakfast and lunch, calling them gifts between friends. I never felt threatened. I've got way more going for me than Jason does. But one day I saw my fiancée wearing the hairpin he'd given her, and something twisted inside me. I sneered. Only he would bother with cheap, useless stuff like that. She shot me a look. So money makes you special? Like you're some aristocrat? Her words cut straight through me. Jason's accident happened on my big day. My fiancée was frantic, almost in tears, pushing at me. What do I do? What do I do? Jason must have heard I'm getting married today and couldn't handle it. It's my fault. I watched the tears bead and run down, smudging her freshly done eye makeup. She lifted her dress. I'm going to see him. If he doesn't make it, the last person he'll want to see is me. It's my fault. My voice slipped into pleading. Jessica, don't do this. Calm down. Both families are here watching. If you leave, the wedding's off. We'll lose face. Luke Dawson, what happened to you? Money's changed you. Her eyes were red as she demanded, Isn't a life worth more than your precious face? I had no answer. In a blink, she'd run out of the hall, wedding gown trailing behind her. Right then, a mechanical female voice echoed in my head. Mission failed. Requesting deletion of all memories of the target. After Jessica Miller bolted, I went to the hospital to find her. Thinking of Jason's injuries, I told the driver to buy fruit and flowers for a visit. I sat alone in the car, smoking. I saw Jessica and Jason come out of the hospital together, laughing and chatting. I dropped my gaze just as Jason reached out and brushed her nose with his finger. Jessica ducked her head, giggling. The cigarette hung from my lips. I flicked the lighter 3 times before it caught. Only then did I really look at Jason. I'd never given him a second glance. With his K-pop hair, pointy face, dewy eyes, and a star earring in his left ear, he spoke softly with a Taiwanese lilt, ending every sentence with "de la." Made me want to tell him to eat a peach. He's still a senior in college, broke and frail, living on my fiancé's family's money. Me, I'm old money in this city. Jessica had no reason to choose him over me. Yet right then, my composure cracked. Jessica had once praised his eyes in front of me. She said she loved them, clear and untainted, like a sunny boy with a hint of grass and light and a fragile blur of brokenness. Not like mine, strong, fixed, shadowed, carrying invisible weight. Jessica called me calculating. Sometimes she'd sulk and say I didn't love her. She said I spent most of my time on business, making her feel optional. She said Jason gave her all of himself, while I gave her only scraps of what I owned. She said I'd never once put real thought into a gift for her, unlike Jason, who'd stay up nights crocheting a bag. All I ever gave were jade bangles and gold bracelets, things money buys, and she already had money. I basically knew what she wanted, but I couldn't do it. I came from nothing worse than nothing. My father was a rapist. My mother ran off. My grandmother's been bedridden for years. Even topping the city in the high school entrance exam, I couldn't afford tuition. I started as a construction laborer, took the blows from my boss to earn favor, then collected debts and forced evictions for him. Eventually, I built my own construction firm and moved into real estate. I'd walked a long, brutal road to reach Jessica. Those clear eyes I once had were lost along the way. For her, I'd climb any mountain, but I can't live my life over. Jessica tapped on my car window, her pretty face peeking in. In the sunlight, she smiled at me. For a moment, her face blurred. I couldn't see her clearly. The system's cold voice rang out. Mission failed. Requesting erasure of all memories of the target. My memories shattered into thousands of shards, lining up like tiny windows before my eyes. 14 years old, working as a bricklayer on Jessica's father's site. Jessica toddled and clutching a plush pink panther, brought by her boss father to see how people live. She looked like a porcelain doll with deep dimples that swirled and snatched my heart. I didn't even dare look up at her. 14 caught up when rebar went missing. My foreman held me down and beat me half to death. By then, it was understood. Anything bad, they'd pin on me. The rapist's son, every dog turd was mine. I got used to it. I was mangy, self-loathing. Sure, my life would stay that way. It was little Jessica in her flower dress and pink shoes, running over, cheeks flushed, arguing that she'd been watching me, and I never stole that rebar. Little Jessica helped me up, brushed the dirt off, and said each word clear and steady. It doesn't matter whose son you are, it matters who you are. She had also placed a truth stick in my hand. I kept that stick with me through more than 10 years. In the middle of a ruin, I reached out, wanting to grab hold of that beam of light from heaven. That was when the system appeared, chiming in my head. Ding! Hello, host. Your target has appeared. Please make her fall in love with you and marry you. Back then, it felt like I'd been possessed by a demon. How could a porcelain doll girl like her be something someone like me dared to dream of? But I couldn't stop myself from dreaming. Conquer her? No, that wasn't some mission target. She was my faith, the reason I came back from the dead. I'd walked so far, so long, just to stand by her side. But now, she seemed ready to leave me. The system, host mission failed, requesting erasure of all memories of target. I watched my memories of Jessica, splinter, vanish, dissolve. My hand shot through the car window, clutching Jessica's hand as sweat poured from my forehead. Jessica, marry me, now! Get in the car, quick! There's no time! Jason's expression shifted behind her. Suddenly, he began gasping violently, his face pale as death, clutching his chest as he collapsed before me in the most delicate, fragile way. One hand still tugged at Jessica's dress as he whimpered in a twisted, pitiful voice. No, no, don't do this to me! You know my heart! His fragile act was flawless. Jessica yanked her hand free of mine and dropped to support him. Jason! Jason! You can't, nothing can happen to you! Then she turned on me, scolding. You did this to provoke him? On purpose? When he's still recovering from an accident? Luke, I never thought you could be this cruel. Please, just show some kindness. She shoved me aside and helped Jason back toward the hospital. The system, host, mission failed, requesting erasure of all memories of target. I was gasping for breath. No. I hadn't lost yet. I smashed at the car window, pounding until my right hand was bloody pulp, using the sharp pain to stay conscious. I roared, No! I haven't lost! I haven't lost! The system, host mission failed, initiating forced erasure of all memories of target. I howled like a madman that I hadn't lost, when suddenly a thunderous boom erupted behind me. My vision went black, and I collapsed. Just before fainting, I heard the system whisper, Host, you didn't lose. It was your target who made you lose. I woke in the hospital, a crowd swarming around my bed. Chairman, you're finally awake. The doctor says it's nothing serious, just drink more hot water. About the Greenfield lot? What's your decision? Chairman, we've drafted the government housing bid, but we'll need your approval. Chairman, I rubbed my temples and gestured for some hot water. A fresh-faced girl rushed to my side, eyes brimming with tears, nearly throwing herself on me. Honey, you're awake! I'm so sorry! I should have gone to marry you that day. Then you wouldn't have gotten into that accident. It's all my fault! I raised a hand to block her. Men and women should keep their distance. A businessman's greatest taboo is mixing romance into work. I glanced at my assistant in confusion. Who is this? My assistant smirked faintly. Mr. Luke, this is your fiancée. You don't recognize her? What? I studied the girl. Her eyes were clear but carried a kind of naive glow. In a family like mine, marriages were supposed to be alliances. As a first-generation entrepreneur, I'd hoped for a sharp, capable wife. Someone strong enough to be a true partner. This girl was too sheltered. We weren't a match. I asked my assistant, whose daughter is she? She replied, the only daughter of Miller Real Estate, Jessica Miller. That family had been declining for 3 years, the heir a wastrel, near bankruptcy. Marrying into Jessica's family wasn't a good deal. Fiancé? What's going on? My assistant hit it, but her eyes looked at me like I was a fool. Chairman Luke, maybe you hit your head. 3 days ago, you and this young lady held a wedding. She ran away for another man. My eyes widened. Escaping a wedding in 2023? If you don't want to marry, just don't. But if you've agreed, don't break your word. Still, fine. I turned to Jessica. Miss Jessica, 3 days ago you abandoned me at the altar. You must have someone else in your heart. I'll respect that. I'll arrange for the engagement to be dissolved soon. You needn't feel pressured. Jessica froze, staring at me. Then tears cascaded down her cheeks, lips trembling. Honey, what are you saying? You don't want me anymore? I'm a businessman, not a saint. Tears don't change my mind. I couldn't understand why a woman who'd abandoned me would cry for me now. I only gave her an apologetic smile and signaled my assistant to send her away. Being bedridden, I'd fallen behind on work. I caught up until midnight. Just as I was about to take a hot shower, my phone rang. Caller ID, Jessica. I answered. Her voice came sharp. Luke, if I don't call you first, you won't call me at all? I held the phone a little away. Miss Jessica, what's the matter? She burst into tears. Luke, you're mad at me. You're pretending to have amnesia just to spite me, aren't you? She sniffled. Well, guess what? You succeeded. I'm really hurt. You'd better apologize right now. I rubbed my temples. Pretending? Miss Jessica, do you really think I've got nothing better to do? You think I have time for melodramas? Please. If it's nothing urgent, don't call me. If it's important, contact my assistant. Everything goes through the proper channels. Jessica sobbed harder, her voice hiccuping. Luke, I didn't mean to run from the wedding. I just thought Jason was dying. Then you made your choice. Adults have to live with their choices. I ended the call and went to take a hot shower. Afterward, I emailed my personal secretary, telling him to go to the Miller estate first thing tomorrow to cancel the engagement. I wouldn't go myself. Jessica, running away at the altar, had shamed the Millers, not me. I wasn't going to be that gracious. I slept straight through until the next afternoon, when I woke to news that Tony, chairman of Miller Real Estate, had brought his daughter to visit. What had to come would come. I straightened my jacket and stepped out to receive them. Tony looked 10 years older, nervous in front of me, no doubt, tied to Miller Real Estate's recent slump. The moment he entered, he slapped Jessica hard across the face. The blow sent her stumbling, her waist slamming against the corner of my desk before she fell to the floor. Her hair fell loose, blood welled at the corner of her mouth. I frowned. Mr. Miller, if you have something to say it properly. Don't humiliate a girl in front of an outsider like me. Tony ordered Jessica to serve me tea, smiling awkwardly that she was young and naive, tricked into thinking someone had really died, running off in a panic. Mr. Luke, you know my daughter's always been kind-hearted, pitying the weak. She didn't mean to shame you. Jessica trembled as she rose, poured me a cup of tea, and bent to hand it over. I looked down. Uncle Miller, marriages can't be forced. Miss Jessica publicly fled the wedding for another man. Clearly, her heart is elsewhere. I've found out who he is. The college student your family sponsors. Miss Jessica's childhood friend. I, Luke, don't force people, and I'm not short of women. Not every woman suits me, so I pushed the tea back with a smile. I hope Miss Jessica finds another good match. I'll be happy to send a wedding gift then. My words lit Jessica's fuse. With a bang, she smashed the teacup. Luke, don't push your luck. I'm not some woman who can't find a husband, and I sure as hell don't have to marry you. She stormed out. I gave the Millers an apologetic glance. Tony's face went green, then white, and he snapped. Young Mr. Luke, that was awfully disrespectful of you. I sneered. Miss Jessica ran from our wedding. I ended up in a car accident. And after all that, the Miller family only spares the time to come once I go to cancel the engagement myself? To give me an explanation? At that, the mask was off. Tony tried to speak but choked on phlegm. Then with a sharp hemsim, turned on his heel and left with his wife. I rolled the walnut prayer beads in my palm and smiled faintly. From the way people talked, I must have had a relationship with Jessica before. Only the accident wiped it out. Otherwise, why would we have held a wedding? But maybe that was for the best. Jessica and I really weren't a match. My company was preparing to go public, and I'd been dealing more with fund firms. Normally, I hated social events. But lately, I'd been dragged to several banquets and salons. At one cocktail party, a vice president of Hong Yang Fund named Jennifer Delaney caught my eye. I'm a normal man. The first thing I notice in a woman is her face and figure. Jennifer was in a wine-red gown that night, a pearl necklace gleaming at her throat. I went over to chat, mostly about stocks. If her looks only caught my attention, her professionalism blew me away. We ended up talking more. Halfway through the night, we danced. I was having a genuinely good time, oblivious to the venomous stares behind me. Somehow Jessica had shown up, dragging Jason along. Seeing me with Jennifer, my hand on her waist, she went red with rage and flung a glass of red wine at Jennifer's face. I moved fast, shielding Jennifer so the wine splashed across my suit instead. Jessica spat venom. Luke! No wonder you so easily dumped me. You'd already lined up a replacement. You were with her while you were with me, weren't you? Perfect, seamless handoff. I frowned, peeling off my suit and signaling my assistant for a fresh one. Behind Jessica, I saw Jason, the man she'd left me for. I let out a dry laugh, changing suits as I spoke. Miss Jessica, since your heart belongs elsewhere, why keep hounding me? I pointed at Jessica for my assistant. My suit cost 12 grand. Miss Jessica ruined it. Handle compensation. I fixed my gaze on her. Miss Jessica, you just attacked my dance partner. Don't you think you owe her an apology? Jennifer waved it off and walked away, leaving Jessica raging in place. I shot her a glare and called Tony to take her home, only for her to snatch my phone and hurl it to the floor. She stomped it, then rose on tiptoe to kiss Jason full on the mouth, lifting her chin in challenge. Luke, don't think I can't marry just because it isn't you. I raised my glass with a smile, and I wish Miss Jessica and Mr. Jason everlasting happiness. I hadn't expected Jason to come find me. I had no interest in fighting him over a woman. Things with Jennifer were going well. She was beautiful, intelligent, elegant, and rational. She ran the largest private equity fund in the country. Being with her wasn't fiery, but it was deeply comfortable. She was brilliant and measured, with impeccable boundaries. More importantly, she and I came from the same kind of background, clawing our way up from the bottom, knowing how hard life is, and therefore open-hearted and generous. I respected a woman like that. I believe she'd be a great partner in life and in business. After my broken engagement with Jessica, I avoided anything to do with her because of Jennifer. At my status, if I didn't want to see Jessica, she had little chance of seeing me. Unexpectedly, Jason showed up. Jason barged into my office, flopped onto the sofa, and said, "Give me $50 million and I'll hand Jessica over to you." I told him to keep her $50 million with still 2 months' profit for me. He said, "Then $25 million? I had my assistant see him out. Where did this lunatic come from?" 2 burly men had him by the arms as he craned his neck, shouting, "10 million, 5 million, 5,000. No, I'll work and pay you 5,000. Please, just take Jessica off my hands, bro." I frowned. The guy had to be sick. To have shared a woman with him felt shameful. Then he blurted, "I have a system. I really have a system. Just hear me out." I remembered that. Long ago it had appeared, telling me the world I lived in was actually a book, that my mission was to make Jessica love me and marry me. Then when Jessica ran from the wedding, it told me I'd failed and erased my memories of her. So I must have forgotten Jessica. No big deal, we were never right for each other anyway. But what was Jason's problem? I waved for them to let him in. Jason didn't beat around the bush, just gave a bitter laugh. "Bro, look at me now. What do I look like?" I paused. "A sissy." Jason slapped his thigh. "Bro, sharp eyes. No wonder you're the male lead." "Yeah, I'm a sissy now." I stayed silent. Then he started stripping. I frowned. "What are you doing?" "I obviously like women." Jason burst out crying, tearing up the tissues on my desk. I grabbed at him, telling him to calm down, but he was harder to hold than a pig at New Year. In our tussle, he still managed to yank off his shirt, pointing at his bulging 8-pack. Bro, check this out. How about it? Me. Are you one? Crazy, Jason said. Bro, you don't know how disgusting my system is. Look at you, then look at me. Our world is a book. You're the main character. I'm the sidekick. You're the chosen one, dragon among men who rose from nothing. Me, just a loser. The gap between people is huge. You're the local-born hero. I'm a transmigrant, a country bumpkin. You have cheat codes. Me, I'm the male second lead, a fragile, broken little sissy. Bro, you know what a second male lead in a women's novel is? He's the simp, the prop to make the male lead jealous, summoned and dismissed at will. My fate is to stay soft and effeminate, endlessly simping for the heroine until you and she crush me and pop out 8 kids. My system told me if I failed my mission, it would castrate me. I've lived 25 years in that fear. Can you imagine? Jason sobbed. But a few days ago, my system told me you had one too. You failed, and I succeeded. My reward for success was to get the heroine. But here's the terrifying part. The system admitted it made a mistake. It said if I failed, it wouldn't castrate me. It would even reward me for working so hard to keep up the act with a lottery win of 50 million! Jason bawled. 50 million, bro! I missed out on 50 million! Please, I'm begging you, succeed already! Take the heroine back! I know you don't need 50 million, but you need her. She's your treasure. I'll give her back, I swear. I just need the money! Look at this earring in my left ear, bro! Keeping up this persona is no different from being castrated. Before I transmigrated, I was a pig butcher, a steel-bodied tough guy. Why can't I just live like a real man? Me! I finally got it. If our world really was a book, the ending should have been Jessica and me together, with Jason walking off with 50 million. But the plot glitched. I failed. So Jason got Jessica, whom he never wanted. Now he was here begging me to reset the story, just for the money. But I didn't see the point. Things were fine as they were. I turned him down, watching his face turn gray. I'm a businessman, not a saint. Money comes when fate allows. Force it, and it slips away. That 50 million wasn't his to have. Jessica was getting married. The groom wasn't Jason, but some rich heir in a business alliance that could save the Miller family. The typical second-gen strong father, mediocre son. I'd seen plenty like him. Jessica personally came to deliver the invitation. I was reviewing documents when my assistant handed it over. I glanced at it and set it on the tea tray. I'll go. Jessica looked dazzling that day, in a fire-red dress and a massive diamond necklace. After months apart, she felt much more distant. She wasn't as dramatic as before either. Jessica sat on the sofa for a long while. By the time I'd nearly finished my paperwork, she finally asked coldly, "Are you done?" I pointed at the file. "Almost. Do you need something, Miss Jessica?" She gave a bitter smile. "That's not what I meant." Her eyes pinned me, like she wanted to bore through me. "I'm getting married tomorrow. Don't you have anything else to say? Congratulations." Jessica lowered her gaze. When she looked up again, her eyes shimmered with tears. "Luke, just say one word. Give me one word, and I won't marry him. I'll come back to you." Just one word. My pen tapped twice on the desk. It's true I lost my memories of you. Memory changes, but personality doesn't. These past weeks, I've heard about our past from others. Since we had such a long history, you should know what kind of man I am. About my amnesia, whether I lied to you, you know in your heart. I'm not the type to throw tantrums. Jessica's eyes lit up. I smiled faintly. That day at our wedding, I begged you to stay too, but you didn't. I've always kept a diary. To rebuild my memories, I read them all. I learned that everything I once clung to desperately was for you. Looking back, it's laughable. I should have been doing it for myself for a reason, not to sink, not to give in. Without you, there would have been someone else, or something else. My path has been hard. You were the start, but not the end. I'm a man who will claw my way up no matter what, to change my fate and my children's. You're a spoiled child. You basked in my protection and affection while also craving Jason's soft flattery. You thought I'd always be behind you. That a wave of your hand would keep me there forever. That's not how it works. We each have our own lives. Even without the memory loss, we wouldn't have gone far. We're not meant to be. All those years, it was my gaze that made you shine. You're marrying tomorrow, and I'll be there. But once you're married, don't come looking for me or for anyone else. Marriage isn't a game. Take my words to heart. Jessica stared at me like she was seeing me for the first time, then bit out through clenched teeth. Can't you see? The only reason I'm rushing into this marriage is to spite you. I choked on my tea, coughing hard, so all my words just now had gone right past her. Fine. Soon I was to be married too to Jennifer. Barring surprises, Jessica and I would never meet again. After that, I never saw her. Of course, I did attend her wedding. She cried through the whole ceremony. People said it was just a bride's tears, that she couldn't bear to leave her parents. I took one look and left. When I glanced back, she was hiking up her dress, chasing after me with dazed eyes, only to be held back by her groom. I smiled and walked away. Not long after, I married as well. Jennifer and I immigrated to Australia, and everything back home ceased to matter. I only returned once on business, when I heard Jessica wasn't doing well. The Miller family had gone bankrupt, and she was living under someone else's roof. Still muddle-headed, she kept bringing me up, running off to my company, to my house in China, to all the places we'd walked together. She even wrote nonsense on Weibo, saying if she couldn't love the one she once loved, then she had to walk the roads they'd walked. Her husband found out, and they started fighting constantly. After a while, he stopped bothering with her at all and kept another woman outside. In the end, she stewed herself into a bitter wife, tangled up in misery, never quite dead, never really alive. Honestly, it was predictable. But what did it have to do with me? My company went public. My beautiful wife gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. My life was full, happy, and without regret.